start this for you real quick. Okay, so we'll just get started. Yeah. Rengar will do that. Why is my FPS so shit? You see that? My FPS is 45 capped. That's weird.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Yeah, I went windowed mode and it's fine. I don't know what it is. We'll just do that for now. Okay.
Minions have spawned.
So you got the early ward in, looks like that's fine.
First blood.
Yeah. Yeah. It works just in general. Both enchanters, tanks, it just in general it works really well. Uh, yeah, that's good too. What I like to do with the enemy jungler is gonna gank early, and I know that. Then, depending on like the matchup bot and the enemy jungler, I might still do it so that I could still get a health lead and may lead to a 2v2 kill later. However, I can say I can want my AD carry to ward. I can tell him like, please ward at this time, and then if he doesn't, then we might just have to play differently. Um, for choosing between these brushes to ward, do you like have a like mental note, or do you just always like put it in this one? Okay. Right. Right. Um, right. So if you tend to play enchanters, warding the middle one against like melees is pretty good because they'll enter the brush and then you get to like poke them a little bit. Um, what I like to do for putting the ward in the far, like if your red side will be the far brush here, is this is generally when you're right when we get the push, but also when like if it's important for me to see them when we do get the brush or the push. So depends on your champion as well. Uh, Oftentimes, if we're getting the push, it's gonna be we're double ranged into the enemy support is melee, or it's double ranged versus double ranged. However, you, if you have the ward in the far brush, can get some extra damage when normally you could not. So here, I would be positioning a little bit differently than you. So I would be positioning toward like very closely towards the brush. Um, this is not really necessary, but if you play a bit more aggressive like this, it may lead to you getting like more positive trades and overall like snowballing the early game for your games more often than you would be now. Generally, it's like you stay around maybe this area, okay? And what I mean by that is if you enter the brush, then they're gonna like put a Lux's E like in this brush, right? You don't want that. You don't want to get hit by Lux E. So you can like enter this brush right here and then leave immediately and like walk around here to bait the Lux E. So once Lux uses her E, you're free to walk up and just beat the shit out of her. Yeah, so even as Nami, right? Lux has no E, you can just like auto W auto. As long as you're like not in range of this guy, any 80 carry it may be, then this will happen more often than you might think when people miss their spells. And if you have the ward here and they don't know, they might retreat back into this brush and you still get the free positive trade. Right, so let me look back a little bit. You did say that you wanted to push the wave, like push Lux in. I just want to see what you're doing here as well. You might be respecting Lux a little bit too much. Hitting these range creeps and like gaining control of this brush like Lux just did here is pretty big. If you're able to gain control of the brush, right. Right. It's fine to do that. But again, I would still be playing like the brush a little bit differently. Baiting the spell and then trying to take control. So here you know that Lux has Q. I'd probably be doing the exact same thing right here. Yeah, and if she were to throw her Q, then you could walk up and even walk into this brush and they couldn't even walk past here. Overall, it's not too bad. This is not looking too great though. Oh. Where did Lucian use his ward? Oh, Lucian used his ward right there. I don't really know why, but okay. So usually do what? Like respect the enemy jungler? Right. Like that's a good idea. Do you ever try communicating with your AD carry to try to ward like around this timer as well? Okay. Yeah, for me here, I would just like I'd be playing aggressive still, but more towards the brush side. Uh, I don't see where you used your red trinket actually. Okay. So, do you have auto attack on or off? Okay. It looks like you play ranged champions a lot, right? Okay, turn it on, but like keep control of your character. Like try to always keep control of your character. And there's a little trick I've got for you. If you're in the brush and you're in attack range of minions and they have vision like a ward, your character will automatically try to attack the minion. So that'll tell you if they have vision in the brush or not. Okay? So that way you don't have to use your sweeper like this. If you're right, exactly. If you're in this tip right here and your character tries to auto attack this minion, what I'd like to do is I just spam right click right here so my character doesn't actually auto attack it, but it like she'll do the animation so it looks like so it tells me that the ward's there. So that's when I'll decide to sweep. Yeah, that's actually not common knowledge, so I'll probably put that in a video and put that out there somewhere. Other than that, I'd be playing aggressive here. I'd have swept this ward out because of the trick. I'd be in the brush probably when they put the ward down, so I'll know that the ward's there. And also, for the last thing, I'd try to tell my AD carry to ward around this timer. Other than that, this is like it happens. And then we'll check around the rest of the laning phase for this game and see what happens. Yeah, that's fine. Boots is pretty good for support generally. So going to help your jungler here using your sweeper is fine, but also generally you should stay on the bottom side of the lane, playing more with the bushes, and yeah, not only you're away from the jungler, but like it allows you so many more opportunities to like take positive trains and affect your lane positively so that you could like snowball and carry games even as enchanters. So let's say you swept this and are standing here, you could be trading with Lux. You don't have to be like this far in the brush. You could again be like towards this back edge, like in and out of exactly, and that will lead to lower health Lux. If this were to gank were to happen again and Lux may have been lower health, then looking at this right now, I'm gonna be honest, it's not gonna look too great for you guys. Yeah. Not only like it's really hard for you to land a bubble like this. Yeah, also casting spells from inside the brush or like from outside of vision will catch people off guard a lot more often than from in vision. They like see you and they're prepared to like move out of the way because they see you. Let's see. This is like pretty much all of lane phase-ish. This guy's dead. Okay. Oh. Yeah, this is fine. I mean, you kind of did what you should have done. You just move with the jungler. Pray your AD carry doesn't grief. He did, but it happens. And then you got more than the enemy bot did. The enemy bot got a kill on your bot laner, while you guys won the entire fight. So this is fine. Okay. Okay, so we can discuss that. I also have a video. I coached someone, mainly talking about like warding spots. These, yeah, okay, thank you. But also, those ward spots aren't like always available to you, right? Of course. Right. So sometimes, let's say I'm red side, right? And uh, I know that their support or jungler is going to be bot side for whatever reason within the next 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes or like 2.5 is your window for putting your these wards, right? The support item wards. So let's say you're red side, and you can't really go here. Can't really go here, but going inside the pit is okay. So you can go inside the pit when you're free. You can either stand here and ward over this wall, depending on who you think is there. If you think they're there, it might be too risky. Make sure you're sweeping as you do this so they don't know you're coming in. And then, or if it's too risky to ward over this wall, you can just ward over this wall. This ward right here is pretty good. Sees them when they walk down through here, you know, just if the support tries to rotate up. Yeah. If their support is missing from bot lane, right here, like let's say the support just goes missing, and normally you'd think they'd be walking mid, but you don't see them across this ward, you can assume they're just like sitting in this brush. Like you assume there's somewhere on this bottom half of the map not walking past this ward, because if they were to do something weird like walk all the way around, then I don't know what to tell you. They're just hacking. Like why would they do that, right? There's kind of no reason. Okay, let's see. Generally,
Turret plating will soon fall.
yeah. So I was gonna kind of say that you don't really need to clear it, not because of the control words there, but you have no like mid prio, right? So this is important because then your team can help you more freely if you have quote unquote prio. Uh, it's really greedy to do this. I might have done this myself and gotten killed for it. It's like whatever, really. Don't flash. Yeah, that. Yeah, that's all there is to it.
Blue team's turret.
Right.
Shut down. Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So why'd you put this ward here? You generally you have to have a reason to put like to do things. Just explain. Okay, that's fair. So first off, let me change the fog of war. Okay. Um, you're gonna be seeing, you see their Kassadin's top, Jace's bot, and then both of their bot laners are mid. Is this? Let me try to get before you place the ward. I think you see that before you place the ward, meaning you should know that the only person on the map that can be like coming in is Rengar, and if this ward helps you against their jungler, that's fine. But personally, I don't see this helping too much against the Rengar in this current game state. Even for Yone, I don't really see this helping him out too much. So, I mean, it's fine. Just like it happens. Just try to think about like what each ward will do for you. And it's hard to do it in game, right? So sometimes you might have to take the time to look at your like warding and be like, oh, this doesn't actually do too much for me here. There's no point in putting it down. And if there's no point in putting it down, then don't do it. Right. So generally, since you've watched the warding video, I'm going to reiterate, I like to look at the neutral objectives. Neutral objectives tend to be the ones in these pits, but also neutral objectives, they're not really neutral, but other objectives you can look at are jungle camps. This is something that people tend to forget, is that junglers and just people in general are going to be pretty obvious when like jungle camps are spawning. That's why it's really important to ward at these spots or jungle entrances and just look at these jungle camps. Because if you catch them when they're doing and they're using spells on something that like is so easily read, then it's like free money for you. It's just free. Right. It could be too dangerous. So right.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, it depends on who you see on the map, of course. You said it exactly before. Uh, there are some pretty easy things that I like to do. So one thing that I do, I stack move speed, which makes me like get away with things more often that I shouldn't. But um, it's the same thing if you didn't have stacked move speed. You just like kind of go in here. If there's no one contesting you, take this ward here, take this ward here. You can just even go over the wall onto red buff maybe. You don't have to go deep in here and do all the jungle entrances. Just take what you can and leave. So if you like see someone on a camp, that might be your go signal to make a play on the other side of the map. Overall, not too bad.
Triple kill.
Uh,
A summoner has reconnected. Red team's turret has been destroyed.
yeah, I'm just gonna skim through the very end of this. Oh.
Shut down.
Hey.
Shut down. Red team's turret has been destroyed. Shut down. Red team's turret has been destroyed. Red team's turret has been destroyed. Shut down.
Another thing I tend to do is if I have control of the river, blue side, I'll just
Killing spree.
go ward here, one here, one here. This again just jungle entrances so that my laners will know whether the jungler or someone's coming from that side. Same thing for red side. I'll ward here and maybe here. This here is pretty obvious. They'll take it. Sometimes I'll just ward over this wall and like here, so then people are also aware. If you want to ward a whole quadrant, a whole side, and it's really dangerous, again, here's fine, here's fine, and like out here. So it's like kind of not so great to put it here because it's a bit too late for most junglers, but it's still alright. Yeah, it's still whatever. You could also place it like, you're probably not going to be able to put it up here because you can only move your character so much within a certain amount of time. So putting your wards in certain spots on the map in a timely manner also matters. Alright. This is fine. Okay. Okay.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. 30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. Jeez. Oh, that is.
Executed.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, that's good. You're playing pretty far back. You can kind of get one shot, but you still have to like. Yeah. Now your HP is a little bit too low. Right. Exactly. Do you review games ever? By yourself?
Blue team double kill.
Okay. Okay, so that's fine. I'm gonna stop viewing that one because Lang Phase is kind of rough. Just take a quick look at this one.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, okay.
Blood. Minions have spawned. 30 seconds until minions spawn.
Yeah, so you don't want to play that far up. Like it's okay if you're later on the other side of the map gets ganked by your support. You don't have to like rush, even though a lot of people feel like you do. So play it at the speed you need to get the advantage. Don't like don't like outpace yourself. Also, I don't know why it's capping my frames. Uh, and like lose what you're gonna get with this. So look at where your jungler is, okay, and look at your wave. So all you have to do is have your jungler, yeah, have your jungler come bot. You guys either dive this guy or kill both of these guys. Like, it's 2v3. Your jungler is pretty strong, it's really dark. He comes and it's pretty good. Now it's not looking so hot. And that's pretty much it, actually, for this game. Because, yeah, like, now it's going to spiral pretty much out of control for you. Because Amumu is going to still do whatever he wants. And now it's like, okay, you have another opportunity to dive. Is when you should have called your jungler or like asked for help. What's he has flash. What you do here is, let's say your jungler comes, uh, make sure he can't flash backwards, and then one of you, probably you, are going to tank the tower, and then you're just going to sit there and tank the tower while they kill him. Sit there on the edge of the range, dodge his abilities, and all you gotta do is do that, and then they kill him. And if it doesn't work out, then you just go to the next game. Because that's all you got left with this big of gold lead, even with all the complaining people have about the objective bounties. That, in my opinion, that's not enough, because you still gotta be able to get the objective bounties. Like, how are you gonna even walk up and get the objective bounties half the time? Alright, so that's it. And then we're gonna look at these, and that's gonna be it for tonight. So Yumi, I'm not... Okay. Yeah. Yeah, overall, on Yumi, there's not too much I can say. Especially in laning phase, because your job is kind of just scale. Like, even on other enchanters, you kind of have power to, like sway the lane state in your favor. But in my opinion, on Yumi, especially at this like state of the game for Yumi, not so much. It's more about capitalizing on your teammate or on the enemy team's mistakes with this Yumi, especially in laning phase, because you kind of just don't really do anything. You like heal and slow. You have like no power over the brushes either. You just sit under any carry. So yeah. So we're gonna forego that. It happens. But there are things you can do to improve on Yumi. Plenty of things, I'm sure, because there are challenger players who play Yumi, and like yeah, me as well. I really do not like playing that champ.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, I agree. Very new player friendly, I agree. Something I noticed in this game is that you chose to ward and buy red trinket. This move is very strong if you're going to try to take control of the brushes. So yeah, you want to definitely try to take control of the brushes, and when doing that, you should also gain a health lead and either 2v2 or look to be so strong you take plates, or even look to fend off a 2v3 or even win the 2v3. So, what I noticed in this game is it's fine, you did the ward and back to recall by red trinket, but again, you should be playing towards the brushes, and also turning auto attack on will help you identify whether or not there is a ward in the brush and whether or not you need to activate your sweeper. And then finally, when you are in the brush, you can go back and forth outside the brush and like avoid skill shots and then move in to try to take positive trades. When taking advantage of these brushes, you don't want to just do nothing and have advantage of the brush. Make sure you do try to take positive trades. One thing that you can take advantage of, especially with red trinket, is as a ranged champion, it's a little bit more complicated to take positive trades than a tank with bush control. You can weave in and out of a brush when you're taking trades. So let's say you go out of this brush here to trade on the enemy support if you're blue side. So let's say you're blue side. I'm a blue champion here. Okay, exit. Use your instant cast as your Lulu. Use your instant cast spell E. Re-enter instantly. Then they have no time to retaliate. Even if they try to auto attack, use a targeted spell, anything pretty much, they can't hit you at all. You'll just go back in the brush. They can't see you. Okay, and then especially after as Lulu, you have your E on them, can take even a better trade than before. Do this rinse and repeat, and you'll be like in a much better spot in lane in terms of health, in terms of bush control, in terms of pushing, in terms of snowballing, just in general. If you like start mastering this ability, like skill, then you'll be like way ahead of your peers. Right, exactly. So, exactly. So, I think last night I was playing and I was pretty disappointed with my early game around these two brushes as red side. That's because I kept making mistakes. I kept on attacking from inside the brush, and I kept on like that. If once you attack from inside the brush, you can't re-enter for like, I don't know, 2 or 3, maybe a little bit longer seconds. I'd have to experiment and find out exactly when that would be. But around, it's like you're unable to go in there for a little while, meaning you can't pressure from that side, from that spot anymore. So it's pretty massive every time you do it, actually. Now they know where you are exactly inside the brush, and notice how like you naturally, if they have a ward in there, you naturally like don't want to be there. That's kind of just how it is. If they have vision of you on support or jungle, if they see you, and you don't want to be seen, then you're gonna like play differently. Another thing when I was taking these bad like attacking from the brushes is I was getting punished when I'm in the brush and I attack from it. Especially targeted spells onto enemy champions. Another reason why you do this is to avoid minion aggro. If you use a targeted spell or auto attack on enemy champions, you'll take aggro. If you go outside the brush, attack, go back in, minions won't have vision of you, so you don't even have to be what's his name, Chovy level or Faker level, and attack between minion attack intervals. You can just go in, or go outside the brush, attack, and go back in, and then they'll reset their aggro. Correct. However, it does if you target them, but if you target yourself or an ally, I don't think it does. Yeah, anything you just have to like click on the enemy, it should aggro the minions. But I think on Nico, especially with my setup, especially, it's really, really important to do this. Otherwise, like you have no access to the minion wave, and the minion wave is how you get kills because you have to empower your E. But that's like outside of what we're looking at here. Um, so I go AP. I tend to like try to get a lead and just carry from baller. There are games where I think going utility would be better, and I would not go even shroud in that case. I would probably go predator and still just look to make a big engage. And with predator, you could go even shroud. Shirelia's is probably better because it's an active, and it also, if you're a predator, it extends your engage range, and Shirelia's, if you're going through your team, will help them come with you. I think. Do you guys think Glacial is broken? I feel like it's not as good as some people think. That's even Shroud, right? You're talking about no, no, no. So it's that could have been before, but I'll show you from in-game. It's damage reduction actually. So at the end, it reduces the enemy's damage against your allies by 15%. Right. So that is like whatever. Honestly, I've ran it, I've experimented with it on quite a few champions, quite a few times, and it's like there's been a couple times where it saved people, but the main thing is the slow. And even Shroud, I don't think works with the slow. I think it works with hard CC only. So, right. So, if you were to run Glacial and you wanted to do something with Glacial, then I think Imperial Mandate, because Imperial Mandate does work off slows. But even then, like I'm only trying that because it seems fun. I don't think it's that great, but it's cool because you got some raise and it procs the Imperial Mandate. That's it. So it's really good on tanks because it yeah, it makes you tankier, but it's good on tanks because if you get CC'd, they also take the bonus damage. I don't know if you read that part. Yeah. So yeah, so like let's say you have the item and then someone CCs you, they just randomly take 12% bonus damage. It's interesting. Yeah, so I think before we like talk more, just a little bit more back and forth, I'm gonna like end it off here so then I can post it. Um, so like, I have a couple of things to uh like run over with you on what we did. We mainly went over your laning phase. Um, so ran a couple things on warding in the mid game, mid to late, and inside the laning phase, we would go over brush control, where like positioning, what to do with brush control, the ward plus sweeper, early game, and tracking the jungle. So that's a lot of things, but they're all related to brush control and staying on that side of the lane. And that's going to basically be your main goal to improve on that part. If you do come back, then we're going to take a look at your early game, your laning phase again, and see if you've improved on that part. And if you have, then we'll maybe look to improve on other stages of the game. We'll do one step at a time. What else? I'll be posting this to YouTube, of course. And oh, my last bit. Sorry. I knew I was missing something. I'll be sending you a message basically telling you exactly what I said at the end here, letting you know what exactly we went over and what you should plan to look on, just in case you want a quick reminder of what you need. Yeah, a little summary. And that should be it. I'm going to end the recording here. Thank you.